I'm so excited you're here. I'm also so excited because, do you hear that? That's the sound of me not getting any spam calls, which is something that has not happened in what feels like years until I started using the sponsor of today's video, Aura. Data brokers are making a fortune selling my information and yours to robocallers, spammers, and other people who want to learn more about you, like where you live. Aura can identify data brokers, exposing your information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Data brokers are legally required to remove your information if you ask, but they make it really hard for you to do that, obviously. And that's why Aura is incredible, because they handle it for you. It's really easy to set up, and Aura does so much more to protect you and your family from threats that you cannot see. And the best part is that you don't have to download several different apps to get all of the things that you need. Parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, and identity theft insurance. You get everything at one affordable price. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online so you can focus on other things with peace of mind. You can either continue to let people exploit and profit off of your information, or you can go to aura.com/chandler.ainsley to start your 2-week free trial, also linked in the description down below. Thanks again to Aura for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Now let's keep the excitement going and get into the vlog. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day whenever you've decided to click on this video. I am super excited to be starting off the vlog, and honestly kind of surprised I was able to start off the vlog this early on a Monday. It is noon and Mondays are notoriously busy for me. This one is absolutely no exception, but I had a little bit of a break between meetings and decided that I wanted to just say hey and kind of let y'all know what the week ahead is going to look like. This week is going to be like kind of busy for me, probably not busy in the grand scheme of like busy people's schedules, but busy for me, and I am excited to take you along with me this week. So today, obviously, I have a ton of work to do. I probably won't be vlogging very much. And then after that, I actually have to go over to my little sister's house in Austin, or I guess not house, apartment. She just moved today, and I'm bringing her her mattress and a desk that I am no longer using. I'm excited to get those things out of my house and out of my garage. Very much looking forward to that. Also, looking forward to some dinner. I think we're going to Shake Shack, which, you know, I like a good cheese sauce moment. So I'm excited and looking forward to that. And then this week, honestly, like my main focus is obviously reading, as it always is, but really just doing more around the house to kind of organize things. I know I talked about this in the last vlog. I am trying to kind of organize my house and get things in order. I am just in that mode where it feels like everything doesn't have a home. There's just like stuff strewn everywhere. So I'm going through closets and reorganizing things, decluttering, etc. So I'll probably take you along with me for that. I think I need to go to the Container Store as well. I like need some new organizational storage underneath my sink in my primary bathroom. Then on Wednesday we have our infertility appointment, I guess. I don't even know what to call them at this point. Is it an infertility appointment? Is it a fertility appointment? We're going in to discuss some of the results that I guess we have been getting already. Like, I feel like I know what they're going to tell us, which is like, we don't have infectious diseases. These are the things you're a carrier for, whatever. And then hopefully the outcome of that meeting will be, okay, we're going to start, here's what we're going to start you with for like an egg retrieval, but we'll see. I have no idea what this appointment will entail. Wednesday at 10 a.m. So I will tell you the results of that. Obviously, AC is kicking on, which I feel like is my cue to go. But yeah, excited for the week ahead, excited to share all of my thoughts and feelings with you. And are we going to read books as well? Yeah, we are. Hello friends, I'm here with some updates. It is Wednesday. I didn't update y'all yesterday because this is something that I'm figuring out about myself. Like, I knew it, but I thought it was getting better over time, and it's just not. For me, anytime I have like a medical appointment or any sort of like important appointment the next day, the day before, I am a little bit paralyzed. Like, I just don't feel like I get anything done. It's weird too, because my body was not really feeling anxious for the majority of the day, which normally accompanies that feeling of like I don't want to do anything, but I just didn't feel like I wanted to be on camera. I didn't want to film. I didn't want to read. I didn't want to do anything. So I just honored that and didn't do anything. Watched some TV with Hayden. We did something yesterday. I can't remember. Probably nothing important. So we just got back from our fertility appointment. Just got some other medical results for the cats. It's a good day. It is a good day. First things first, I woke up this morning a little bit early and I got an email in my inbox from my vet saying that the kittens are parasite free, which is so validating because the parasite that they had didn't really affect them. So I knew that they were physically pretty much fine. I mean, it wouldn't have been great if it had gone unchecked for a long time. Parasite that they had didn't really affect them. However, it is one of the hardest ones to get rid of simply because of the way that it lingers in the environment no matter what kind of cleaning you do. So I was unsure if we would be safe this time, but we are, which is really cool. So 2 thumbs up, very excited about that. And it means that I can let them play. I'm still going to be keeping the kittens in here at nighttime because I think they're too small to run the house at night, but they're definitely big enough to be able to go and play with the big boys and have fun. So I'm very excited about that. Then, like I said, we had our fertility appointment and I learned so many things that I wanted to kind of talk to y'all about. So timestamp fertility update. I got clarity on those PCOS questions that I had in, like, was it last vlog or the vlog before? I don't know. I obviously just had so many questions about like, do I have PCOS? Do I not? Based on the phone call. It was basically just I don't want to say further confirmation of the things that I was already told, but I wasn't misled necessarily. So I do have PCOS according to my doctor, but I don't have the metabolic features of PCOS that a lot of people with PCOS have. For lack of a better word, I have good PCOS, which essentially means that I do have cysts on my ovaries, I have a large ovarian supply, and I do have irregular periods, but I don't have any of the other symptoms that go with it. I'm not pre-diabetic, which is really exciting to hear. I was actually very curious to know if I was pre-diabetic. I'm not pre-diabetic. I have a normal testosterone level. Yeah, I just don't have any of the other, I guess, blood markers of PCOS, which is nice. And it's not something that I'm going to necessarily have to treat super differently. I probably will, after, everything, after the IVF cycles and stuff that we go through, hopefully just one, we'll probably start treating myself a little bit more like someone who has PCOS, even though I don't have the metabolic symptoms, just eating higher protein and that kind of thing. But yeah, that was just nice to know that there's not really anything that I could be doing differently to, I guess, mitigate anything, because again, I don't have the metabolic symptoms. I don't know if any of this is making sense. I hope I'm not talking about this inappropriately, but basically PCOS, it's not necessarily affecting me, which makes sense given kind of the way that I have been feeling these past few years, irregular periods, but metabolically nothing is wrong, which is really cool. In terms of the actual IVF process, so we had talked on the phone about the saline sonogram that my doctor wants to do. It's definitely something that you do before you do an embryo transfer, but I had been under the impression that it was going to be early on in the process of trying to figure out the infertility stuff, or getting the blood test done. On the phone they said, oh, you don't have to do that until after your first cycle. Then when I talked to my doctor today, she actually said we need to do a saline sonogram now, because this cycle, I literally started my period today, which is kind of nice. This cycle is going to be a cycle where we do a bunch of things, but not necessarily actual IVF. That is going to be in September. I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, saline sonogram next week after my period's over, to just kind of see the uterine cavity, to see if there are any irregularities, polyps, fibroids, that sort of thing, which should be good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, all goes well. Surprisingly, I'm not actually very scared for that one. I know some people go into that, or an HSG, a little bit nervous, but I have had an IUD inserted, and while that was painful, it was totally manageable, and this is supposed to be much less painful than that, so it's fine. Essentially what they do is they insert a catheter through your cervix and squirt saline, I guess, into your uterus, take a sonogram, and just kind of see kind of what's up. That is next Wednesday. Fingers crossed, all goes well. The thing that I'm a little annoyed about is that I actually have to do another blood test, which I'm not super hyped about. I actually told my doctor about how I had to have so many vials of blood drawn. She thought it was actually pretty funny, which was a nice little bonding moment. But I have to go back for another test. I don't exactly remember what it is, but it is necessary for some other steps that we're doing. So I asked my doctor something that I have been personally curious about. Since we're dealing with male factor infertility, I've been curious if there's a chance that we, let's say, retrieve a ton of eggs from me, which is a likely outcome given, numbers and stuff. And she said that too. I'm not just making that up. Let's say we get 20 plus eggs, and let's say none of them fertilize, or we don't get any normal embryos from a cycle. How much does she think that is going to be contributed by the male factor? And is there anything we can do to mitigate that, using donor materials for half, and then Hayden's materials for half, just to see that help our chances, sort of thing. And when I brought it up, she was actually you know what, I kind of like that idea, and I like the idea of finding a donor, because in that case, let's say day of, Hayden isn't producing as much as he needs to, and we just don't have enough for the amount of eggs that I have. That would not be ideal, obviously, so having donor as backup would be great. I could also choose the day of to use donor for all or a couple of the eggs. It's just nice to have options, so that is something that we're doing this month, and that is why I need to get that blood test done, because basically if I'm negative for whatever the blood thing is, and the person who we get a sample from is positive for that thing, they will be incompatible, the egg and the sperm will be incompatible. So that is just something that needs to be done. I need to go get my blood drawn next week, which I really don't want to do, but it shouldn't be too painful, and not as much blood. So that's kind of what we're doing this cycle, is what I'm trying to say. For the cycle for August, for this period, I'm getting that saline sonogram. We're going to try to find a donor, an anonymous donor, not someone we know, but an anonymous donor. Not sure, again, what we're going to do with that material, if we're going to use it or not, but it's just nice to have that backup, and I liked that my doctor was very receptive to that, even for a first cycle. So yeah, that's what we're doing in the month of August, and in September, we are planning on doing an IVF egg retrieval cycle, which is just wild to think about, but very exciting, and it's the perfect timeline, honestly, for us. I was a little worried considering that we have a trip planned for October, but basically I will be done, hopefully, very end of September, and so I'll have a couple of weeks to really recover from the procedure. Some people, it only takes a day or two to recover. Some people have slightly more severe symptoms after a retrieval. Since I have a high number of eggs, it's more likely that I would get ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, which can cause blood and fluid buildup in the abdomen, which is uncomfortable. So if that did happen, again, I would still have enough time, hopefully, to recover from that before going on our trip. Just praying that this next cycle is a normal length cycle for me. We basically counted as if it was a 35-day cycle, which my cycles have been for the past 2 months. So praying that that happens again. And if not, that it's only 40 days and not like a 50-day cycle. I mean, it's all up to our bodies, and yeah, we can't really control anything that happens, but it was just nice to get more of a timeline going and to figure things out. My doctor did say too, like after we do the retrieval, it takes a few weeks for the like genetic testing to make sure the embryos are normal. I would say earliest for our embryo transfer would probably be like November, but honestly, I've really been thinking I kind of would prefer to do it next year, like early next year, January, February, if possible, but I mean, that's a big if. Like we haven't even done the retrieval yet, so just wanted to update you. I feel like I know so much more now, which is exciting, and I feel like kind of the green light to be able to exercise in August now, that like I know that I'm not doing, you know, medication in the next like 2 weeks or something like that, so that's nice. I have Pilates on Saturday, so I'm very much looking forward to that and looking forward to everything ahead, but it was a very good information-packed meeting. I feel like that's it, right? Like donor backup, saline sonogram, maybe starting in September. Yeah, so exciting stuff, but also like kind of intimidating. I'm looking forward to it. I feel good. And I think it's going to take a little while for things to settle in, I guess emotionally, and like, you know, figure things out, but mostly feeling good and excited. And again, like that coupled with the cat's been good. It is a really good day. It feels really good. Something less exciting. IVF update over. Wednesdays are like a chill day for me. I need to go to my little sister's apartment and help her. She picked up a dresser off of Marketplace and it barely fit in her car, and now she can't get it out herself. So I need to go drive an hour to help my sister get her dresser out of her car, which is not a big deal. I think I'm actually gonna pop over to the Container Store on my way back home because it's like on the way, and see if I can find any goodies for underneath my sink, because y'all, it is a mess. I told y'all that last week and it's still a mess. And now that the cats are roaming, I would really prefer not to have stuff out. She doesn't love the Container Store, so I'm gonna go. I probably won't show you that, but I'll show you what I get, and then we can do a little reorganization. I'm also hoping to change out pillow covers today. Hayden's actually washing the couch because Pepper threw up a massive hairball on one of the cushions. So that just necessitates us cleaning the entire couch, and it'll be nice and clean slate for new fresh pillow covers. The ones from Amazon, the green ones, did come in and they look really pretty. So excited to show y'all all of that. But I will be back in a little bit. Let's do some movie magic. All right, hello friends. I took a really good nap. But by that, I mean, it was the kind of nap where you wake up a little bit sweaty and your head hurts. I disassembled this Alpha drawer system for under my sink. I don't think I'll be able to get to making my living room cute today, but that's fine. We have Thursday for that, right? And Friday and all the other days after that. Wow, that nap really took a lot out of me. I'm actually very happy with this solution. I was having a really hard time finding something that I thought would work under here. The main complaint is that currently, let me see if I can bring you in here, junk city, literally junk city. Basically what I do if I need to wash my face is just like take out this big bin of stuff and sift through it to try to, you know, do my everyday day and night routine. I don't like it. It's annoying. I don't like that just because of the way that this is set up down here. Like you can't put in like actual shelves or anything because obviously of the plumbing. I think this should be a good solution simply because I'm not gonna have to bend down quite as far to get to everything. Like this will be better utilization of the space. Very quick, very brief time-lapse movie magic so you can kind of see what everything looks like. Actually, I don't even know if I'm gonna do that. I don't have enough space on this SD card. That's just the kind of day it is. So I'm just gonna show you what it looks like after and I'll let you know how I'm liking it. All right, Hayden is cooking and emptying the dishwasher in the other room, so if you can hear any banging, I'm sorry. But hello, beautiful. This is so much better. I like can't even put into words. I am gonna have to find like a new spot for my makeup brushes and my mirror that I use for my makeup. I had those under here. I just like take them out when I need to do my makeup. I don't like them out on my desk, and I can't put them in my desk because there's not enough space in the drawers, but this is incredible. Like I'm just so happy with how this looks. Everything's accessible and isn't falling over, and so anyway, I guess I can like bring you over here and actually show you what I did. So in here I have like all of my skincare for the most part, except for like moisturizers and small things. Got like my Cetaphil, which I use to wash my face. I've got my Junginbi products, which I still really love. I'm still working through these. I did a sponsorship with them last year, I think, and I actually still really enjoy these. So 10 out of 10 on that. I also have just some like other assorted like CosRX stuff back here, my deodorant, everything that just stands up. And here I have like moisturizers and things like that. The one I'm using right now is the Skin Fix Barrier Plus cream. I don't like this, but I have it and it works well enough. So anyway, I have this. My Aquaphor is in here. My like just random assorted things like my Ordinary Peeling Solution. I love this stuff. I don't use it as often as I probably should. In an ideal world, I'd use this like once a week because it's just amazing. So backup sunscreen in the back. And then in here is like boring stuff like toothpaste, toothbrushes, have some Mighty patches, which I really like for kind of deep blind sets, and then also some oil absorbing sheets. I hardly ever need these except when I do, and I like to have them on deck just in case. Pretty much it. Amazing. amazing. 10 out of 10. I don't know. I just had such a hard time for so long trying to find like a solution for under there. I feel like it was obvious that I needed drawers, but I just didn't know if I could find something the right dimensions. And of course, Container Store came through. I'll say these units were a little bit on the pricey side. I think I paid like, well, I think the list price for these, like $114. They were on sale though, which is why I bought them. They were running like a 25% off of Ulta sale and then also a 25% off back to school sale. I don't think I got them for 50% off, but I'll do anything honestly to like not have to deal with mess. So very happy with this. I don't think I'll be able to put the other one I bought 2 of these into this side of my drawer or cabinet, I guess, but I don't feel like I need to. This side has never been as bad. I have like 2 containers up here. I have like scrunchies and hair stuff in one, and then in the other one I have like my actual hair brushes. Yeah, exciting stuff. And then down here is all of my like body care and hair stuff. It's a little annoying that like all this stuff is sort of like stacked on each other. I'm buying 2 moisturizers because I didn't realize I had one because it was buried under the other. Anyway, but I'm still able to mostly find stuff, so it's not a big deal. This is fine for now. I just think that the plumbing on this side is going to interfere with me putting a unit in here. And then I also have my water pick in here. Okay, if you don't have a water pick, what are you doing? It might seem like a superfluous thing. Like if you regularly floss, you don't need one of these. But if you have a lingual bar or a permanent retainer behind your back teeth because you have braces, one of these, please do it for yourself and your dentist. Your dentist will want to make sweet love to you. Everything is nice and organized. I'm very excited. I think I'm going to use the other unit, the other side of the vanity. We have 2 sinks in here. Hayden's side is over there, and it's not like super disorganized in here, I don't think. Let's see. Not too bad, but I think I'm gonna get all of this stuff off of the floor. It's like my nail polishes and then like hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol, nail polish remover, that sort of thing. So I will be putting those in those under sink units, I think. Maybe I will try to use it under the kitchen sink. Probably not. I don't think that I have enough clearance under there because our sink like dips into the under sink storage too much. So anyway, I have an extra unit though. That's exciting. Now, this is probably really thrilling stuff, but I love organization, so I'm not mad about it. Hopefully you're not either. All right. I'm gonna go eat pasta, which I will show you, and I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully with like thoughts on books and also with like fun, beautifying stuff, not like, you know, organizing stuff. Directly above me, I came from heaven, if you didn't know. Hello! I don't know what I said that I was gonna do or tell you today. Oh, I told you I was going to do the throw pillows today. I still didn't do it, mostly because Hayden lovingly put the old throw pillows back on the couch. They actually look pretty good, so I'm just gonna leave it for today. Tomorrow is when we're changing to green, and it'll be fun, and I'm excited about it. But before then, and today, it's Crumbl time. It's been a second. It's been a second since we've done one of these.
Yeah, some fun flavors today.
And I'm excited to give them a go. They're looking quite delish. Okay, this one doesn't look like the pictures, but it does smell amazing. So I'm very excited about it. So we've got...
I smell syrup.
Yes, we've got Blue Monster, which is like Cookie Monster, I guess. It's Chips Ahoy. It's a cold cookie. I've had it before. It's pretty good. There's the French Toast Cookie, which does smell weirdly like French toast. I don't think I've ever had this one before. Also, like, I'm not doing a very good job at showing you.
What is that on top of it?
Some sort of like creams. I don't know. I'm gonna have a bite and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Mom's Recipe, is that what it is? Which is like toffee, peanut butter, chocolate.
Something like that, yeah.
With some salt. And then there's this like new apple one. I'm doing a terrible job at showing you because I'm not trying to mess up these cookies, but let me give you a gander. There's an apple one, and on the picture on the old Instagram, it looked a little bit more apple filled. This doesn't, but that's okay.
Oh no, there's definitely apple pieces inside, I think. Maybe not. It's just like stuck to the bottom. Yeah. Just take a bite while you're holding it.
It's actually pretty delightful. It's not like overly sweet, I don't think.
Definitely less sweet than I thought it was gonna be.
It kind of tastes like apple cinnamon oatmeal.
That's what it is.
Which is my favorite variety of oatmeal. Mom's Recipe.
Are you gonna try that one?
I think so.
Okay.
Trying to avoid peanut butter.
I'll just take a bite right there.
Oh, and it's an oatmeal cookie. I don't
yeah,
think I said
oatmeal.
that.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, so the French toast cookie, just French toast. I don't know how to pick this up. I mean, it genuinely is French. Like, there's no structure to this whatsoever. I think I'm just gonna like peel a piece off and then grab a little bit of this like butter.
Yay, nay.
It's good. Yeah. And it's actually surprisingly not that sweet.
Not gonna lie, I like whatever that butter mixture thing is on top.
It's good.
Tastes like butter frosting. Not like buttercream. It tastes like whipped butter, but I like that.
The only complaint is that like because it looks aesthetic, you have to like really dig at the butter, get a little bit in every bite.
Well, here's the thing, if we were eating this like kind of at home, I would have just taken a knife and like spread it around. It's
literally just French toast. Like there's no cookie to this.
I was gonna say it tastes more like a pancake than it does French toast. Or like a waffle. Like, it tastes more like butter and syrup. It does. What?
I mean, I've been having the butter in every bite, but I really just got the butter in that one.
Like, you tasted just, like, straight up butter, right?
That was really good. I'm not mad at that.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it tastes like a pancake or a waffle where you actually put, like, a little bit of butter on it more than it tastes French toast. I'm not really getting much, like, cinnamon and spice flavor from it. That's
the thing. Most French toast isn't that cinnamon spicy, so...
I guess, but...
I want to eat it all.
We can just keep eating it, you know? That's what it's there for.
Who's we?
We is me and you.
Me is butter. You is mommy cookie. I will sample...
It's kind of pancake in texture as well.
I will sample this one for us. I've had it before.
Be careful with that.
A chocolate chip cookie with icing.
To me, it looks like it would be similar to, like, Great American Cookie Company cake. Like, cookie cake.
It's kind of what it tastes like.
I'll come over here, though, because it's very crumbly.
You're going to make a mess?
That is what it tastes like. Not really my style. Here's the thing. I actually do like the cookie part of it, and I'm not even mad about it being cold. That's too much frosting for me.
I was gonna say, I actually really like the frosting. That's why I keep going back for more bites.
It's too much frosting because here's the thing. It's not like the warm cookies with like buttercream or like cream cheese frosting where it's more kind of like aerated.
Oh, it's dense, yeah.
It's super dense. It's like a puck of icing.
It's
and I don't like that.
It's so smooth and cool, and I kind of like that. I'm not normally a chilled cookie girl, but this I like.
That one doing it for you?
I'm about to do it to this fucking French toast.
The rest of this French toast?
I'm gonna make it my bitch. I think I'm gonna do that off camera. There's nothing really else to update you on.
You could just sit here and hork the rest of it in front of the camera just for like bonus content.
What else have I done today? Mostly just stuff for other videos. I got a vlog before this finished, and I got it sent over to the sponsor. Should have done that on Monday, not on a Thursday, but I did it. And now I am panicking because I need to read some books for other videos. And I also want to finish the 4 books for the list video that I'm doing in a couple weeks. It's a big ask, yes, but I am gonna vlog those. I want to finish Mad Honey and like some other stuff. I also want to watch Heartstopper, y'all. And are you gonna watch Heartstopper season 2 with me? You watched season 1, didn't you?
I don't know what that is.
I'm pretty sure you did. When we were on our honeymoon.
Oh,
on Netflix.
yeah.
Really cute. He'll be roped in. I mean, like, realistically.
Realistically, you're gonna watch it on the TV in front of me, too loud for me to watch other things with headphones.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is kind of, that's always been kind of crazy to me, how much you don't like loud noises, yet every time that you watch TV, especially when I'm in the room, it's at like 70 volume.
I want to be able to watch it.
I can hear it from another room with the door closed.
Okay, I can hear the dogs from another room with the door closed. What about it? Like,
yeah, I know. I'm just surprised. Like I said, I'm loud, so
I like my own noises. I don't like other people's noises. So jot that down.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to find a creative way to turn off my camera because my hands are greased.
Do you want me to do it?
And I'm gonna eat some butter. Hello friends, happy Friday! I am finally here to do a little bit of living room. I was gonna say reorganization. It's not so much reorganization as me changing out the pillow covers in here. Actually, BRB, let me go grab them so I can show you what we're doing. Okay, so I got these in the mail from Amazon. These are basically the same sort of pillow covers that I have on my bed in my bedroom. They are these like fringy, sort of linen-y pillow covers. I think these ones are 18 by 18, but I think they go up to 20 by 20 if you want a larger size. And basically, I don't know if you can really tell behind me, I feel like it's a little bit washed out, but presently I have a bunch of like white and blue pillows on my couch. White and blue is typically what I go for in like the height of summer. It just feels really clean and fresh to me, but my heart really lies in fall. So anyway, I got these pillow covers. I got a set of 2 of these, and then to coordinate / match, I was really going for like similar shades of green, but not the exact same, but these kind of look almost identical in real life, so I don't know, kind of my mistake. I got 2 of these 20 by 20. I don't know what these are made out of. They kind of feel like chenille. They're really like textured. I don't know if it's gonna focus. Yeah, these like big textured pillows, and then obviously I got this one from Pottery Barn last week. If you missed that vlog, I'll leave it in the description down below, but I got this to kind of go go with them, sort of like a fall motif slash vibe. These are not the only pillows that I'm going to put on my couch, and or not my only like couchscape, shall we say. I'm gonna be changing out various different pillow covers, the throw blankets on these couches, and just making the overall vibe of the living room much different than it currently is. I'm also going to be like putting some new things on this tray over here. So I just thought I could do a little time-lapse movie magic and you can watch me do this. What I like to do is completely clear off the couch first, and then I will bring down the various different pillows and accessories, shall we say, for this area. Pick and choose that way. I like to have everything kind of laid out in front of me and like make some executive decisions. So let's get into it. Let's do it. I'm excited. All right, y'all, I finished decorating the living room. I hope y'all liked that little time lapse. I just love redecorating. I'm sure it's going to evolve and change over the next couple of months as like fall continues. It's still 100+ degrees outside. I'm just trying to like manifest fall in here. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. It feels like very calm and soothing instead of like bright and airy now that I got rid of the blue and white pillows and put out the kind of greens and muted tones. And I'm pretty happy with it. Also, if you were curious as to why I put throw blankets on both sides of my couch, it's not for fun or aesthetics. It's simply because my cats like to destroy the sides of my couch. These blankets help to prevent that. But now that I'm done with that, I need to get on with the rest of my day. Today is like a pretty chill day for me, but a busy day for Hayden, which means some things are going to be a little different than normal. Mostly I'm going to have to take care of us for dinner. And I also have sprints, so I need to like go and procure dinner for Hayden and I, and then come back dinner for both of us before 5 o'clock. And then while I'm out, I actually need to get a couple of things. Primarily dry food for the kittens. I keep like turning over here because the cats are getting on top of the fridge. We'll talk about that in a second, okay? To get some dry kitten food, I also need to get some eyeliner. I'm not wearing eyeliner today, I don't know if you can tell, but I normally wear black liquid eyeliner pretty much every single day. It makes me feel like me. Maybe it's the millennial in me. I've been running out over the past couple of days, and y'all, yesterday my eyeliner looked so fucking bad. It kept like skipping as I was trying to apply it. So I just said, you know what? I'm not gonna do that today. Just gonna go out and buy some new eyeliner. There's like certain makeup items that I throw away like right on the expiration date, but I go until that shit is empty, and it normally takes about a year, so I can re-up. For sure. I use the Stila Stay All Day. It's my favorite. It does stay all day, and it's really like rich and black, and yeah, I'm gonna go get some of that. I don't know if I'm gonna go to Target or Ulta. They're like renovating my Target, which makes it really unenjoyable to shop there, but redone the section where the beauty is, and now it's like Ulta for Target, so they might actually have the eyeliner there. And I was gonna maybe pick up some cat litter at the old Target, so we'll see. I had to pop out of frame for a second to check on the boys. The cat introduction process, I guess we can like talk about that real quick, and just like other random updates, but cat intros have been going pretty well. I've been very, I don't want to say surprised, but very impressed. Pepper, especially like his receptiveness to the kittens. He has not hissed at them at all, which is kind of wild. It's been kind of like getting in the faces of the kittens, and they have like sniffed each other. It's been very, very sweet. And I'm really monitoring and just trying to make sure that nothing, I don't want to say goes wrong, but I think obviously something went wrong in the introductions with Pickles and Pepper, and that never really recovered. Like, they were friends at first and then they kind of went sour. Thankfully, since the kittens are so young, I don't anticipate that really being a problem, but I'm trying to do everything I can to like mitigate that issue. I have not really seen any signs of distress. The only thing that I've noticed is that Pepper and Teddy's dynamic has been a little bit touchy lately. Nothing like major, like no one is getting hurt. It's not like the Pepper Pickles situation, but I have noticed that I think Teddy has been a little bit anxious and he's like trying to engage in play with Pepper, who like doesn't really like to play. And I think he doesn't know that he can direct his play energy towards the kittens yet, probably because they're so small. I'm not entirely sure. He has been playing with them a little bit, but I think he's still trying to like work out the dynamics and just understand kind of how our household operates now. It's really been 2 days of them playing, so it makes sense to me that there's stuff to work out, but I have not seen any signs of aggression, which has been such, like I said, a blessing. Like, I can't put into words how much better this is going. I think we're taking things at the right speed, this situation. I feel good about that. Overall, going pretty good. Bash wanted to say hi. He's walking around. He has been absolutely fearless. He does not care. Can't hear anything. So if anyone's hissing at him, he has no idea. He like literally doesn't care. But aside from all that, or I guess like all of this sort of combined, I just wanted to pop in, I guess, a little bit about mental health. I've been feeling a little bit more anxious lately than I normally do. Anxiety is not a feeling that I typically experience. I normally deal with a different form of mental illness that I don't really want to get into. Anxiety kind of like comes and goes for me, and lately I just feel like I've been feeling so anxious. It's just like such a combination of things. I feel grateful, I guess, that I have other things to focus on besides just, you know, the IVF process, but I also feel a little overwhelmed that I have so many other things going on. A little bit behind on my upload schedule. I've been uploading when I want to upload, but I feel like I've been a little bit behind when it comes to pre-filming for various things in December, and I want to do them. Like, I want to do things, but the way that my anxiety manifests, I think I talked to y'all earlier in this vlog, is like I just feel paralyzed sometimes and I just don't do what I want to do, and I feel bad about it. It's like an endless cycle. So I'm trying to find ways to kind of break out of that. I think now that we do have a timeline, even though that is kind of stressful in and of itself, I am feeling better about things going forward. I feel like I have all of August to like go do a bunch of stuff and knock a bunch of stuff out. It's a lot. I will update you most likely when I'm back and like sprinting. I would take you with me in the car, but y'all, it's just so hot that I have to blast my AC so loud that you can't even hear me talking over it. So I'll talk to you later today. I could talk to you about Mad Honey, which I finished last night. Oh, hi. Do you want to say hi to everyone? So precious. Are you having fun with all your butters? Sully says hi. I am home from my adventures. Food on my shirt. I don't know if you can see it. I'm sure you can. It's orange. It's not my own food. At the record show, I ended up picking up food for Hayden, and the bag the gentleman handed me at the sandwich shop was covered in crap, and I got some on me. So I was not aware of that until I got to my car, but you know, it's fine. I think it'll come off in the wash. Fingers crossed. I actually didn't end up getting that much stuff, even though I feel like I went to a million different places. I ended up going to Marshall's, Ulta, Target, PetSmart. I got cat food, which I needed. I got dish soap, which I also needed from Target. Marshall's, I just popped in to see what was up, and I actually was proud of my restraint. I was trying to kill time because I needed to like time things perfectly, come home close enough to dinner time to where it wouldn't be weird to bring Hayden dinner, but also early enough to where I could do sprints. I'm on sprints right now, actually. I didn't get anything at Marshall's. I just popped in there and had fun, and I didn't get anything. So I did get a few things at Ulta that I thought I would like haul for you real quick, and then I can also tell you about Mad Honey, because I did finish that one finally. I feel like that book took me forever to finish, but I did enjoy it. I did kind of want to talk about my thoughts and feelings on it. It's a book that I'd never really heard of, but apparently it's popular. Let me show you what I got at Ulta first. I got 4 things. There were a couple of things I actually like picked up and put back down, which I shouldn't be so proud of myself, but I am quite proud of myself because I'm trying to be good, trying to like save money for Disney. You know, it's hard sometimes when you just want to spend money, especially when you're on your period. But 2 things I actually kind of needed. Well, the first thing I did need was that Stila Stay All Day liquid eyeliner. I had like the micro tip version because they were out of the original version last time. This time I just went back to All Reliable. Hopefully I will be skilled enough to apply the regular one. The Tarte Shape Tape. I always get the little mini ones because for some reason the big ones end up getting gross around the lid and it gets everywhere in my makeup bag. I can't stand it. It grosses me out. So I end up getting the little ones. It's not cost effective. Wouldn't recommend it unless you're traveling, but I get 8B Porcelain Beige. It's the palest shade. Occasionally, if I don't want as highlighted of a look under the eye, I will do like 12B. 8B's my girl. So anyway, got that. Those 2 things I needed because I knew I was running a little low on this. 2 new things that are kind of exciting. I am just really figuring out what I like in lip products, and I kind of had like bog standard favorites for a while, but I think with the wedding last year, I was trying a bunch of different stuff, like different formulations, to go-to formulas for lips, and everything else I just feel like doesn't get the love that it deserves in my makeup drawer. I'm trying to kind of like cycle through the things that I have, but I just keep going back to my old reliables. They are the Maybelline Super Stay like crayons. They're long, easy to apply, matte lipsticks. And I have really dry lips that like tend to crack and crumble, but this lipstick just works every time. It just looks so pretty, whether on its own or with a gloss. Sometimes if I'm going for a more subtle look, I'll just kind of like gently put it a little bit on and kind of rub it in with my finger, or I can do a fully opaque look. It's just the best. I love that stuff. I just love them. I have like 5 or 6 shades and it's just what I go to, especially in the fall because I have some darker colors. And if I'm going for like a glossy look or I'm going to put a gloss over those lipsticks, I really like the Buxom glosses. I also enjoy ColourPop's original lip gloss formula. I don't know if they still make it, but there's one that I really liked. It was called Champagne Mommy, I think. One I really liked for a long time, but I've kind of gone back to my Buxom glosses. I like that they're a little bit tingly and minty, but they don't burn or anything. The colors are really great. They're opaque. They last quite a long time on the lips. I did like the ColourPop ones. They just don't last as long. So I got the shade Dolly. It is this like really pretty kind of milky pink color. I love it. She's a go-to. I have like a mini of this. I also have the polish as well. There's lip creams and lip polishes. The polishes are like a little sparkly and less opaque, and these ones are slightly more opaque and not sparkly. So I don't know. They're all great. I love these. And then I got a blush. My favorite blush I'm running out of. It is a like Jouer blush duo. I don't know. The way it looks on the skin is so pretty. I'm not wearing it today. I'm wearing like a pink blush. But like in general, I'm looking pretty washed out. But it's a really beautiful like nude, slightly shimmery blush, and it just is so complimentary to whatever lip color you put with it, whatever eyeshadow look you do. It's amazing. Super neutral. It's so hard to find neutral blushes for really pale people because everything tends to pull really orange, whether it's pink, whether it's neutral, whether it is peach, everything pulls orange on us and it's so frustrating. So I got this blush and I'm hoping that this one will not pull orange. When I swatched it on my hand, it was a very pretty neutral color. I wanted something like neutral for fall, and again also something to kind of replace a blush that I already have and that I'm running low on. So this is Laura Mercier's Chai, which we've talked about chai. We talk about how much I love chai. This is the color. It's looking so warm on camera. Wow, that's crazy. It is not warm really in real life. It is a very muted color. It comes off honestly like slightly cool toned in real life. Like I'm looking at it through the viewfinder and I'm just kind of astounded that it looks like that, but it's so pretty. I also have Ginger, which I think is a slightly similar shade to this, but Ginger is like a true peach. This looks like it's going to fulfill all of my wishes and my fantasies. I honestly should compare this to the blush I already have, like swatch them side by side or just like hold them side by side because they look pretty similar. But I like Laura Mercier's blush formulation. I love the packaging. It's like magnetic closure. Yeah, it was kind of pricey, but I don't know. I don't mind spending money on stuff that like I know that I enjoy and I know I like this formulation. So little haul, 4 things. I think my total was like $100-ish, which feels pretty good. I don't know about y'all, but like I can do some damage in Ulta and Sephora, so I feel pretty good about that. And I got some stuff that I needed and a couple of fun things. So all in all, good times. Let's talk about Mad Honey. But before I do that, can we just take a second for how cute these boys are? I don't think it's gonna focus on them because it's focusing on my eye, but I just can't get enough of them, okay? I'll come over here so they're kind of in the background. So, Mad Honey. I have been reading this book for a couple of weeks now at this point, and it has been an interesting read. It's one that, I can't spoil for you, but I want to express what I enjoyed about this book. This is the kind of book that I think you need to go in with, I don't want to say no expectations, but you need to go in not knowing anything about it, except for that it is a literary mystery / like crime book. It reminds me in some ways of Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. If you enjoyed that, I think you would enjoy Mad Honey. It's not the same like kind of plotline, but it is a courtroom drama. I was just kind of blown away at the way that this story is put together, the way that it handled certain topics. I think oftentimes books can attempt to do too many things, and I feel like this book did just the right amount of things with like some of the hot button issues. I'm putting that in quotes because I don't think these are hot button issues. I think these are just the realities of life, the things that are discussed in this book. But I was impressed. Fuck. I can't talk about this book and not spoil it. And it's like, if I said what the spoiler is, you would think that's not a spoiler, like that shouldn't be a twist in a book. And it's like, it shouldn't, but yet it is, and it works. And I've never been at a loss for words like this. I've never like not been able to adequately describe a book without spoiling it. But I think it's all you need to know. I think if you open to discussions of sexuality, of gender, of identity, of crime, of domestic violence, you like courtroom dramas, I think you will enjoy this book. That's all I'll say. I think that it was very good. I think some of the topics that were discussed made me think. I don't know that everyone will like this book. I know because I read some of their Goodreads reviews and I could tell that there were some people that I don't agree with that were upset with this book. And I also think there are people who are cool with the topic discussed that will still not like how it was discussed. So I just think it's a book that like, I don't know that I'd recommend to everybody, but it is a good one. I enjoyed it personally. So yeah, I don't know really where to go from here, but I thought it was nice. I thought it was very nice. And I like that there was a co-writer on this book. I think the co-writer was very necessary. And when you read the book, you'll understand why the co-writer was necessary. So yeah, I am glad that I was forced to read this for a list video. and I'm curious to see if I have similar reactions to the other 3 books that I have left. I have Spare by Prince Harry, obviously. I have Remarkably Bright Creatures, which I'm going to try to finish tonight, I think. And then I also have The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I'm trying to finish all 3 of those books by Sunday, which is a little bit nuts since I'm also trying to read 5 other books for a video for Wednesday. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I am in kind of a reading mood. I won't lie, my period. I think I told you my period started on Wednesday, did I not? Which is good for like IVF stuff. It was actually great. My doctor was like very excited that I was on my period when I came in. Not so great for me because I am crampy and I just want to be in bed and read books. So I guess double-edged sword. I don't feel good, but I also want to be in bed reading, so that's good. And I spent a lot of time reading yesterday when I finished that book. So that were me. I literally, let me see if I can get you down here looking at this cute little boy. Just too freaking precious. I cannot with him. What is it about feeding the cats that just makes me want to talk to you? I don't know. Do you love that beautiful symphony you can hear? Happy Saturday, friends. I am makeupless, clearly, and just wanted to like pop in and I guess let you know what I've been up to. I did get distracted yesterday. I was listening to Remarkably Bright Creatures a little bit, but primarily I was working on fall and winter merch. I hesitate to call it merch because it's not like channel specific. I honestly just like making sweatshirts and t-shirts that like I want to wear myself. So I guess we could just say like apparel, clothing line. I don't know. That's a little bit dramatic, but merch just doesn't seem fitting. I'm making some sweatshirts and t-shirts mostly in the like Halloween time and in the like winter Christmas time. And I'm trying to get things done ahead of time so that I can like release them. I don't want to say when the seasons are relevant, but yeah, like I want to release them around that time. And I've kind of always envisioned doing this, like even when I first started creating designs for like my first drop, I guess you could say, I was like, you know what, I definitely want a fucking embroidered pumpkin sweatshirt. That's something I certainly want. So yeah, I'm working on that. I've been working on that for the past like, I don't know, 8 hours, 12 hours. Last night, that's what I did when I got home. I ate some food, I did that. Hayden also kind of helped me come up with like some funny phrases and sayings for the designs, which is exciting. Today, I am like both excited and like not excited for it. I'm selling my car, fucking finally. I have been desperate to sell this stupid thing. Not stupid. It did me good for very many years. But I am excited to no longer have a car just like in the way that we're not using. So I'm doing that at like 3, I think. And then at 1, I am going to Pilates, which I've been looking forward to. I'm a little bit sad though. My sister, she had a really rough day yesterday. If you are a part of my Patreon, you know I was like on sprints and didn't mute myself when I was FaceTiming her. Basically, she got a flat tire and her like whole moving experience into her like new apartment has been a little bit of a nightmare. Just like roadblock after roadblock and just like annoying thing after annoying thing. None of this is like life ruining stuff, but just stuff that's like very inconvenient. But she has to get a new tire today, so she is not able to go to Pilates with me. It means I'm on my own, and I was so looking forward to like having a partner in crime. But this isn't like the first time that I've done stuff on my own like this. Like I am a big kid, like I can do this. Pilates at 1, I'm hoping that I'm not the only one there. That's the only thing I'm like a little nervous about. As long as I'm not the only one there, I think I'll be okay. And the only reason I think that could be the case is because it's an introductory class, a 30-minute intro class. I don't know. It doesn't seem like they do these super often, so like maybe they wait until they fill up. I'm not sure. I'm like sort of nervous that I'm gonna be the only person there, you know, because it's not a normal Pilates class, but I'm still looking forward to it, and I'm gonna have positive vibes and positive energy. Hopefully I don't feel like crap when I do it because we just had McDonald's, but it's in a couple hours, so I have time to digest. Yeah, Pilates, and then trying to sell my car, and I'm hoping the car sale goes as easy as possible. Like that has been a whole nightmare. I think I told y'all that like I was running into issues like getting the title for my car because we lost it, and it was just like a whole thing, but you know, fingers crossed that all goes according to plan. Very unexciting stuff, but tis life, right? Like that happens sometimes. When I get back though, I am hoping to have like another kind of reading intensive night. I mean, I did do some reading yesterday. You know, it wasn't like I didn't read at all, but I just got so sucked into the merch stuff that things kind of fell to the wayside. But my plan right now, I think it's only like 11. Yeah, it's 11. I think I am going to design some merch while I listen to Remarkably Bright Creatures. I only have like a couple of hours left. I'm still not really understanding the point of this book. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the one about like the octopus, but when I do finish it, I will let you know my thoughts and feelings. I feel bad because like I had finished Mad Honey, was excited to talk about it, but then I realized I couldn't really talk about anything without like spoiling the book. So I am gonna go. I also need to do my makeup at some point. Maybe dry shampoo the hair before I go to this class so I don't look totally gross, but happy Saturday. I also have to put together recipes for Hayden so he can go to the grocery store and get us food for the week. So maybe I'll show you what I pick. All right, y'all. Hey, it is Saturday evening. It's like 10 o'clock now. Today was interesting. I had a good day though. It was mostly a good day. So let me kind of run you through what happened. So I did go to my Pilates class at 1. I like barely made it on time. I am terrible at figuring out when I need to leave my house for things, but I got there just in time. And even though my sister wasn't able to make it, I was not the only person there. There were 3 other women there. The instructor was just so helpful and so kind and gave really good corrections and just really got me comfortable with the like Pilates equipment. Like there were performer specifically, obviously. I just had a really good time. It was definitely a workout. I mean, it wasn't a very long class. I think it was like 30-40 minutes, but it was definitely a workout, but it was also really calming. And I don't think I found a good mix of that pretty much ever. I've taken bar classes before. I've taken other things. I think I talked about it in the last vlog, but this was the first time that I actually felt like, wow, this is something that I could see myself doing in conjunction with other things, which is really what I was looking for. Like I wanted something that was like slightly more low impact that would have an effect on my body and, you know, slowly over time build core strength and things like that. I wasn't looking for something super, super intense. And I think this is perfect. Like I honestly can see myself alternating this between lifting. I'm not planning on doing that in August. I'm planning on just doing Pilates, but yeah, it was really good. And I ended up signing up for a membership. So I'm gonna be doing Pilates this month and I'll like update you on my progress and just like how I'm enjoying everything. He's so cute. He's so purry. He's just such a baby. He just had his dinner. I don't know if y'all can hear Sully eating in the background, but these boys are having so much fun with their brothers. Every time we come home, all of the boys are like passed out in the living room because they've just been playing so hard. Anyway, yeah, 10 out of 10 Pilates. I would recommend. Finally sold my car. Not the Tesla, obviously, but my other car. It's exciting to like not have the car laying around anymore. I was just like a weight off my shoulders, like a stress that I didn't need to have anymore. I feel free. I feel free. Even though I had to sit in that fucking CarMax for like 2 hours. I am glad to have gotten that done. But it was such a time suck because I like went to the Pilates class at 1, got myself lunch, then went to CarMax, and I didn't get done until dinner time. And then we had dinner and came back, and like I have been doing things since I've gotten home, but like my day was kind of shot, which I hate. But I have been listening to books. I have been doing merch planning, and I guess I can show y'all one of the designs. Here's one of them. This is going to be on a t-shirt. One of the things I didn't do for my like core collection, I guess you could say, of like merch / apparel, merchandise, whatever the fuck we're gonna call it. I don't know. Clothing line? I didn't do any t-shirts with like colored print. I literally just did black and white for everything, which is very on brand for me, but I also do like color and I wear like, you know, kind of more fun, I guess, graphic t-shirts. And there are some more subtle things as well too, if you're like a more subtle person. Gonna be a lot of embroidered pieces for this collection. I think there's gonna be either 5 or 6 pieces. Haven't landed on that yet, but I was finalizing one of the pieces and it's so cute. I'm keeping that one under wraps though, so look out for that. I want to say in September, probably like late September, I will be releasing those into the world and I'm very much looking forward to it. I promise the other merch is coming soon. We literally just have to take the pictures. So anyway, I've been working on that and I also finished Remarkably Bright Creatures while doing it, so I can tell you about that real quick. I thought this was very corny and cliche. It's about an octopus who I guess thinks like a human being and we get his thoughts and feelings. His name's Marcellus, I think. And it's also about Tova, who is the person who, I don't think she like cleans his tank, but she is the, I guess, custodian of this particular aquarium. I guess this octopus kind of like helps her reconnect with someone that she thought was lost forever. That's literally it. That's literally what the story is about. There's another POV in the story that I like didn't really understand for a while. This like random guy, I think his name's like Cameron or something. And you kind of come to understand like why his POV is part of the story, blah blah blah. I just felt like everything was a little too convenient and not in a fun way. Sometimes I can overlook that. I'm like, wow, this is profound, but I think like the messages and what the octopus taught our main character just like wasn't enough to make me interested in the story. I feel like I am the contrary opinion though. On Goodreads, it seems like everybody loves this book and thinks it's so amazing and profound. I just don't really get it. Like the storytelling was pretty, but I feel like it was a missed opportunity. I kind of want to watch that octopus documentary or whatever now that like talks about how octopi are, I was gonna say sentient, but you know what I mean, like how they are smart or whatever. Like maybe I'll watch that. I bet that would be more profound than this book. It wasn't terrible, but just like meh. Glad I just sort of like casually listened to it as I was making merch, because otherwise I think I would have been bored out of my gourd. Oh hi. Oh, are we using me as something to lean against? That's fine. That's totally fine. He's a little rat head. I am planning actually, after I stop recording, to start in on The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I actually am already like 10 or 15% into that one. I think I talked to y'all about that earlier, but I'll like update you on my thoughts and feelings tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow, but we're gonna make it exciting, I promise. This vlog I feel like has been kind of dull. And you know what I've also determined? I don't want to apologize constantly for my vlogs. I was just comparing experiences last year making kind of like casual vlog content versus this year, and I have to say I just feel a sense of peace and satisfaction, and I feel like this is what I should be doing. I feel like last year I wanted to make vlogging work for me. I wanted to make it something that was cool, but I was constantly frustrated at myself for not reading enough in vlogs and for not making the vlogs interesting enough, and so I don't know, I just always felt bad about them even though I wanted to be making them. And this year, like these past 4, 5, 6 vlogs I've been making, I have been feeling really good. Like I love filming them. I love editing them. I am enjoying like experimenting with different things. If you watched my Disney vlog, I did this thing when I was packing where I like did 2 different camera views. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. Like, I don't know if that's coming off in the videos. I kind of think it is because a couple of y'all have commented that I seem happy, and I am. Life is going pretty well right now, which is awesome, but also I'm just having fun making these, so I'm not gonna apologize if things are not as exciting one week because life can't be exciting every single week. So I would say this is an exciting week. We had that IVF update, which is like so thrilling. Did my Pilates class, which was so fun, and I sold my car, which was like, again, a weight off my chest, so I feel like it's a good week. Back to bookish things briefly. Tried or attempted to listen to the Prince Harry after I finished Remarkably Bright Creatures while I was making merch, and I have to say, seems a little directionless. I don't know, like I just don't understand it, and I want to. Like I thought this is going to be like really incredible, and I will say the writing's really good, the metaphors, the imagery, etc. But like I don't emotionally impacted in any way. I'm not really getting it. I feel like I might be missing something here. It's not bad, but I'm like not loving it. More exciting things. I thought I would show y'all some of the stuff that I have culled and kind of walk you through or talk to you about how I plan meals for us. That's something that a couple of y'all have asked me, mostly like my patrons over on Patreon, because Hayden makes us like really good things. And I post them on my Instagram quite often. Yeah, I just thought it could be like fun to kind of show you the cookbooks that I tend to pick from and like kind of my thought process and planning. So typically, I don't really take into consideration any sort of like dietary needs or anything. I just go based off of what sounds interesting and good in a given week. Some weeks I'm like, you know what sounds really good? Greek food. So I will like select a couple of like Greek dishes. And weeks it's like, oh my god, I just am craving Mexican food, and so I'll do a few different Mexican dishes. I think the key for me when I plan is to try to obviously pick dishes that have a lot of overlapping ingredients. And I think that comes naturally, again, just because of craving. Like some weeks I just really am truly craving one kind of cuisine. And again, if you're picking from one cuisine, there's going to be overlapping ingredients. And then in terms of like the process of like deciding, so for me, normally my first stop, at least lately, has been physical cookbooks. Hayden is the one that cooks for us. I do none of the cooking in this house, and he really enjoys working from a physical cookbook because as he's cooking, he likes to listen to podcasts and watch YouTube videos, and he doesn't like to have a recipe pulled up on his phone in really tiny font. So he requested that I find some cookbooks for us, and I've really enjoyed like adding to our cookbook collection over the past couple of months. So I have a stack right here that I'll show you in a second, but my first order of business is usually to comb through cookbooks and to see if I can find things that really appeal to us, and I will put them in our notes app. It'll just say something to the effect of spaghetti squash alfredo, and then I will denote what cookbook it's in. Sometimes I'll put the page number if I'm feeling generous, and Hayden will comb through the cookbooks, the Pinterest things that I put in there, or like the online recipes I find, and then he will make a grocery list from there and then go to the grocery store and then come back and cook everything for us. I usually select for us about like, I would say 6 lunches and usually about 5 dinners every week. I know that we eat out a fair amount, honestly, so even that is a little bit of a stretch for us in terms of like getting through all of our recipes, but that's typically how we do things. Not super fancy, but that's how we do it. Oh, so let me show you the cookbooks and kind of what we've done. So in order to, again, help Hayden with ease of cooking, I pulled together the whole Hadesi recipe book. This is where I have printed some of our favorite recipes and put them in these like page protected sheets. It's not revolutionary. I'm sure a lot of people have done this before. It's a running joke too on Patreon that Hayden puts his whole Hadesi into all of the things that he makes for us. But this is like the first place I go to. There's not a ton in here. I feel like I need to print out some new things that we have been coming back to time and again, but this is like holy grail for us. And a lot of these are just like online things from Half Baked Harvest and a couple of other sources. We also really like the Original Dish. Her website is really, really great. So here are 4 cookbooks that I feel like I am always pulling from. And it's gonna be kind of boring because 3 of them are Half Baked Harvest. The Half Baked Harvest Super Simple is probably my least favorite of them. I do enjoy all of them. These are things that we go to time and again. And sometimes we'll find ways to like lighten up some of these dishes because as much as I love Tegan, a lot of her stuff tends to be a little bit rich and hearty. Something I love, but like isn't always like the best for us. So we definitely put like our spin on recipes. And by us, I mean Hayden. I would say Super Simple is probably my least favorite. And it's not because the recipes in here are bad, but I think it's just because there tends to be fewer like poultry dishes in this one, or maybe it just feels that way. Like there's less that interests me in this book, though it is good. All of these recipe books are good. I've never really had a Half Baked Harvest recipe that I was like about. They're pretty much all delicious. So this is a good one. These 2 are really my favorite. So this is like kind of our holy grail. This is just the original Half Baked Harvest cookbook. It has like steak and potatoes on the front, and I cannot describe to you how much I love this cookbook. I'll leave all of these linked in the description. The summer carbonara. I could eat this every single day. I truly could. Do it sans corn. It's got burrata. It's got burst cherry tomatoes. It's not a true carbonara, obviously, but it's so good. So that's a favorite of mine. I have all of the ones tabbed that we really like. These bad boys. I can't. Feta fries, chicken, incredible. These seafood banh mi's are really good as well. They're not traditional in any sense. We usually actually replace the fish in these with chicken, but that's just a few of our favorites from this book. It's just so good. It is so good. Would recommend. I think you need this in your life. Whether it's like a physical copy or an e-copy, like please run and get yourself one of these. And then a new one to our collection. I think this is the newest one. It's Have Baked Harvest Every Day. And we are slowly working our way through this one. Again, every recipe that we've tried, of which I think there's only been like 3 or 4 at this point, has been delicious. Oh, we had this the other day. It was so good. It's the Nutty Herby Spring Pasta. We had that for lunch with some grilled chicken and it was so good. I really like this one because I think the poultry dishes, the pastas, the pizzas, like everything is just to my liking. If you didn't know, I only eat chicken and fish. I don't really eat pork, and I definitely don't eat beef. So this is amazing and I'm excited to work my way through more of this. And then another one that is not Have Baked Harvest, I have really liked, is one that I got off of recommendation from Jessica Braun, and it is Everyday Dinners by Jessica Merchant. I like this one too. This one is definitely different, like flavor profile wise. I think the thing about Tegan is that she uses a lot of the same flavors over and over again. So if you don't like bacon, if you don't like avocado, if you're probably not going to enjoy her dishes. I mean, I feel like a lot of people like bacon and avocado, but a lot of her dressings are very similar too. This one is definitely different because it's from a different author and a different person altogether, but we've really enjoyed the things we've eaten from here. These are like really simple and delicious meals, which we really like. There is a fish taco, a beer battered fish taco recipe in here that we really like, and a puff pastry pizza that is really, really good. I recommend all 4 of these books, and I'm about to go through all of these and select some dinners for Hayden and I to eat. I've been rambling way too long. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I need to take my makeup off, get ready for bed. I will talk to y'all bright and early tomorrow morning, and hopefully we can find something like fun to do, something exciting. Y'all, when I tell you my abs hurt so badly, I had a genuinely good time yesterday because I was like, this is so chill and relaxed and like, this is fine. And you know what? It was fine. It was great actually, but the pain that I'm in is not super great. I mean, it is. I did something, like I moved my body, the little tail sticking out from under that pillow that he's just knocked over. Pilates update, I guess. Like, soreness is definitely a thing, which is good. I mean, I guess that makes sense for any new activity, but just wanted to pop in. I'm actually about to hop on sprints. We do sprints on Sunday mornings now, which I love, honestly. It's not like super early in the morning. I'm not having to like wake up at the crack. A nice like 11 o'clock sprint sesh we love. It's like because I just like reading in the mornings. Like that's actually my preferred time. I know some people are like late night readers, and I do a lot of reading at night too, but for me it's like really late night reading or really early in the morning. Like I don't really want to read in the middle of the day. So anyway, yeah, sprints at 11, but I did get like 40% into The Perfect Marriage, and I thought we could talk about it because I'm just honestly gagged. This book I feel like I've heard so much buzz about, and the buzz has mostly been from people that I know that are not big readers. So maybe I should have known that this wasn't going to be incredible. The thriller that is specifically available on KU, and I mean, I don't know if it's like sold other places. I think it might be independently published or indie published. I could be totally wrong here. When I first saw the book, I just assumed it was like a traditionally published book, but the more I kind of like looked into it, I was like, okay, so maybe this is like the first of its kind, like KU thrillers. Obviously there have been thrillers on KU for a while, but I feel like those books tend to not get as much buzz. The popular KU books are romance, I would say, by and large. I don't know, I didn't really know what to expect going into this. I just knew that like a fair amount of people I knew enjoyed it. This book is about our 2 main characters, Sarah and is his name Adam? They are a married couple and they are seemingly happy. She's an attorney and he is an author, but she's much more successful in her career than he is in his. He is, you know, trying to be an author, but like isn't very good at it. I can't remember if he's had a book published or not, but he's basically a flop. Like he's just not good at what he does. Sorry. And he feels emasculated, of course, because, you know, he's a man. He ends up kind of lashing out in his own way by cheating on his wife with a woman named Kelly. Meets her in the like lake house town that he and his wife, like they bought a lake house, right? And he goes to write at this lake house. Like that's kind of why they bought it in the first place. Oh, place for my husband, my loser husband, to escape and write his next great American novel. Well, while he's in town, he is constantly cheating on his wife with a woman named Kelly, and he slept with this woman the first day that he met her and just like, I guess, never stopped. He claims he still loves his wife, and his plan was like to leave Kelly, but unfortunately Kelly turns up dead in his bed in that lake house, and we're all trying to figure out what happened. Kelly claimed that she was abused by her husband. She like shows up one day with bruises and like a black eye, and she claims that this entire time her husband has been abusing her, and that she's kind of in a bad situation. And I don't think she like asks Adam to help her out of this bad situation, but she, I guess, like justifies her cheating because it's like an escape or something like that. And I keep saying claims that her husband was abusive because I think the book is trying to lead you to believe that maybe there's more to this than meets the eye. Like maybe Kelly is lying about being abused, or that maybe someone else was abusing Kelly. I'm not entirely sure where this book is trying to go, and I think therein lies the problem for me. I just don't know that I think that domestic abuse should be a plot twist. Lying about that sort of thing should be. Here's the thing. I tend to take issue with books that have abuse at the center, whether it's a plot twist or not. Someone who is lying about being abused. I've seen it in romances, I've seen it in thrillers, and I just don't like it because I think that it perpetuates this idea that this is something that often happens, that women are often lying, and that's just not the case. More often goes unreported and underreported by women because women tend to not be believed. So yeah, I just don't really think that that is like the best. And I'm trying to like kind of withhold my judgment because I am obviously not far enough in the book to know where this book's going. Maybe I'm completely off base here. Maybe the husband was lying. Maybe he was, abusive, and maybe she was, telling the truth. I don't really know, but just the way that the book is being told, it kind of makes me think that like there's going to be a situation where Kelly was lying, maybe to cover something up, or like maybe she's the crazy one. I don't know. Reviews for this are interesting too. I looked on Goodreads before I picked this book up. Some people tend to really enjoy it and think it's really twisty and fun, and then I do see a lot of 1-star reviews, and I cannot for the life of me remember what people are saying, but I do think that some people raised similar concerns to myself. So it's interesting comparing this one to something like The Housemaid, which is another book that I'm reading for this video. These like popular Kindle Unlimited thrillers that have been getting a lot of buzz. That one at least, like, it did have some issues that initially I thought were handled poorly, but I think ultimately like it ended up being kind of a non-issue. That one, like, it was not the best writing ever, but at least it was fun and interesting and sort of an inventive plotline, nothing I'd ever read before. And I'm not a huge thriller reader, so like what do I know about what's inventive? But I digress. This one, I don't know. And just like the whole premise too. Oh, that's not even to mention the issue with like the law enforcement side of things. So obviously Sarah, who is Adam's wife, she's an attorney and she's like married to her job, and like that's why her husband was cheating on her, which, okay, don't love that. Sarah is going to defend Adam, even though she's like kind of mad at her husband, obviously, because he was cheating on her this entire time. Yeah, I was gonna spoil something, but I'm not going to spoil it. Sarah decides she's going to defend her husband, which, like, okay, fine, sure, that could be an interesting, premise and an interesting, like, little plot twisty moment, but the way that everything is handled from the law enforcement side of things is absolutely wild. Treating Adam as if he was the person who committed the crime, which, like, that's a fair, assumption since this person ended up dead in his bed, but they, like, are colluding almost with Sarah. Like, Sarah goes to the scene of the crime, like, after the crime's been committed, the police, like, take her back there because she, like, requests to see it or something like that, and to, like, see what evidence is there, and she's, like, helping the police in a way. She's like, well, have you considered this idea, or have you looked into this? And I'm like, in what world would a defense attorney be allowed at the crime scene, help guide the police? She's not a detective. I don't know. I don't even think that, like, her specialty, like, area of law, criminal defense, like, all of the sort of, like, legal proceeding side of things is just absolutely ridiculous. And I am someone who is down to suspend my disbelief. Again, I just read The Housemaid. That wasn't exactly believable. But this, it's like when it is a profession that I think a fair amount of people know about or have, watched enough crime dramas in their past, like, I think most people, like, a rudimentary understanding of the legal system in the United States. This idea that, like, a defense attorney could go to the scene of the crime. I can't. It's so goofy. It is so goofy. And just something about the way that this book is told too. I'm just kind of like, I'm just rolling my eyes big time. The interactions too between, oh God, what's his name? Adam's mom and the wife. I'm like, this is so goofy. And whenever he talks to her, every time he, like, ends a conversation or, like, ends a line of dialogue, it says mother or mom at the end or something like that. I'm like, does anyone actually talk to their mom like that? I mean, I understand, like, calling your mom mother, I guess, if you're, like, not close or, like, you have a formal kind of relationship. Also, wow, this blush is, she's bright. I'm using a blush palette from Hourglass right now. I actually really like the Reflex, which I don't think you can pick up on camera, but it's kind of like a purpley pinkish shift. It's actually really pretty on the cheeks. Looking a little wild on camera, but it's pretty in real life. I literally never reach for this, but it's really pretty. Yeah, this book is just absolutely ridiculous, and I will probably try to finish it on sprints because I would love to get this done. That means I literally only have spare left for the list video that I'm working on, which would be such a fucking blessing. And that one I can just like casually listen to as I like clean my house for the rest of the day. So kind of love that for me, frankly. Oh, good Lord. Oh, wow. I'm just really intelligent today. Brilliant, actually. I just pinched my finger closing this. Ow. I'm planning on finishing the books for this list video, mostly because I don't want to read these anymore, obviously, but I specifically like want to read fun stuff in these here videos, like mostly romance and like just fun stuff that I pick up on my own. Like I don't want to constantly be reading things that are like not that exciting for, you know, other videos in these videos. That makes sense. Any other exciting updates? Hayden is at the grocery store right now. He is grabbing stuff for the recipes that I picked out. I'm really excited about this week. I feel like I did a good job balancing things that are like nutritionally dense and also delicious, so I'm very excited for our lunches and our dinners. I'm actually challenging myself too this week to not eat out for lunch or for dinner because we have a dinner reservation on Sunday at Red Ash in Austin, which is a pretty nice Italian restaurant. And on Saturday, we're actually going to Houston, I think, to see Aiden's parents. His birthday is on the 17th. He's turning 29, which is just absolutely insane to me. And his parents wanted to celebrate his birthday, so we're gonna go to Houston. I think we're also gonna try to see my parents. And I know that we're gonna be like eating out Saturday and Sunday, so if we can go an entire week, like Monday through Friday, without eating any fast food, that would be pretty wild. That would be pretty wild. I really don't know how other people do it. I mean, I guess if you're on a budget, and I have been that person before that's been on a budget and can't afford to eat out, I feel lucky to have the opportunity to be able to like eat out whenever I want, but I'm also like, it's not great for my health and I never feel good when I do it. So manifesting being a silly little goblin, okay? I'm gonna go. I'll probably update y'all one more time before this vlog is over, unless something exciting happens, but frankly, I don't think anything will. This is a chill Sunday. I need to edit this vlog today. I need to do like a lot of stuff around the house that's just fun. I mean, unless you want to see like a fucking 30-minute time lapse of me cleaning my house, which I don't think anyone does. Alright y'all, last clip of the vlog, and boy is it a fucking doozy. Okay, so I just finished The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, and this was fucking terrible. And I was gonna say one of the worst thrillers I've had the displeasure of reading. I actually wouldn't call it a displeasure because it had me fucking cracking up every 5 seconds. Like, was it well written? No. Was it a fun and inventive plotline? Oh, I mean, depending on how you look at it. Here's the thing. A lot of the reviews for this are really good, but as I was stating in the last clip, I think there's some like problematic elements, but beyond that, there's just so much. There's so much to discuss, and I really feel like I can't get into it without putting a spoiler warning. So if for some reason you wanted to read this book for yourself, go ahead and do it. Although I do think that my high points are really going to tell you everything you need to know, and I think personally it'll be more entertaining than picking up this book. So, you know, I would love our author to get her coin or whatever, but I also very much just want to spoil the fuck out of this book. So let's do it. Let's talk spoilers. So, okay, like I was telling you, this book's about Adam and Sarah. Sarah is defending Adam because he killed his mistress, okay? Things really fly off the fucking handlebars at like the 50% mark. First off, this is like kind of minor in the big scheme of things, but Sarah kind of starts getting threats from her like co-named partner in the firm. I think the firm is called Williamson and Morgan. So Williamson is like, you can't do this case and I'm not gonna pay you any money. And I'm like, okay, but if she is one of the founding partners, what the fuck? That makes no sense. I think that was just added in to like make things a little bit more chaotic and like high stakes. It was unneeded and stupid. What was also stupid is the husband. I get that he needed to be stupid, but I'm also just astounded at how fucking stupid this man was. Okay, so first things first, he is on house arrest, right? Like, he's on bail, he's on house arrest, and instead of just like chilling and laying low and waiting for this trial to like take place and happen, he decides, no, I'm a merry little fucker, and instead I am going to ask a reporter who knocks on my door to investigate this crime for $5,000 and an exclusive interview. She comes in and she's like, hey, you know, I was in your creative writing class at the community college a couple years ago, and he of course is getting his ego stroked and is like, oh, okay, come in, like, let's talk. And then she's asking him questions and he's like, I've got a theory, also, do you want to help me with this? And she's like, I mean, I guess, maybe, sure. Fucking universe, would a reporter decide to investigate a crime? She does. That's something that she does. And she kind of like helps him throughout the course of the story, which is ridiculous. So very soon after this encounter, gets a call on the phone from his editor/agent, who's like, hey, heard you're in the Slammer. It'd be super tight if you wrote a memoir. Like, people love that from jail, and you could do interviews from jail and stuff. And Adam's like scratching his head. I'm kind of going through some shit right now, man. Like, writing's not on my mind. But obviously he gets convinced by his editor/agent to do this. Lacking brain cells. He is very much lacking brain cells. He also escapes house arrest twice, walks out of the police station after that. And then we have Anne, the assistant, who is kind of unhinged. Honestly, both of the friends of Sarah sort of unhinged. You've got Anne and you've got her friend Matthew, who's gay, but there's definitely some sexual undertones there with like how they interact with each other. There's just really no other fucking explanation for why Matthew is willing to like go to bat for this woman. Does she have something on him? I'm not really sure, but he is like willing to do whatever, like tamper with DNA evidence for her. He's another story. Anne is really who I care about. She is Sarah's assistant, and I guess everybody else at this firm sucks, so she has like ingratiated herself with Sarah. She really cares about Sarah. She finds out about the cheating before Sarah does and decides to like take pictures and try to blackmail Adam. It's definitely a choice, certainly a choice. And then we've got Bob, and Bob is someone who works at the firm and is kind of like constantly butting heads with Sarah, another like misogynist, like piece of shit dude that we don't like. But guess what? We find out he's actually the brother of the deceased guy that Kelly murdered. Fun fact, Kelly murdered her first husband, right? And Bob is the brother of that dead dude. Do you want to know what happens? Do you want to know what happens? Sarah basically throws it so that Adam will go to jail and she can ride off into the sunset with her lover Bob. Her and Bob, they're not actually not friends. They colluded to murder Kelly. And actually, Bob was out of town when this happened, like he was in on it, but he didn't do the murdering with the killing tools. That was all Sarah, baby. She murdered Kelly in cold blood. She put literally a plastic sheet in between Adam and the mistress. I guess Adam was asleep the whole time when she was just stabbing the fuck out of Kelly. I think he was also roofied. No, was he roofied? No, he wasn't roofied. He just slept while this woman was being murdered next to him. And yeah, Sarah got to ride into the sunset with Bob. And Adam does get the death penalty, so very cool. This is like a nitpicky thing, kind of, but not really. I can't express to you how many times the phrases like shattered glass or shattered mind were used. Like, what is it about shattering things into a million pieces? Sarah talks about in like one of her little like daydream scenarios where she's like going at it with Anne and like trunchbulls her, you know, like holds her by the pigtails, kind of fucking flings her around and like throws her through the like two-way mirror in the investigation room. She has a dream that this happens. It doesn't actually happen, or like a daydream about it. Talks about how the glass shatters into a million pieces. There's another thing about how all the words he said shattered into a million pieces on the ground. Get a little more inventive with the metaphors, Miss Rose. Oh, and then my favorite is like during the opening statement for the case that Sarah threw, she talks about how there's much DNA in this woman's vagina, and I'm like, in what fucking world would anyone use that in an opening statement? She's trying to like, I guess, prove the fact that Kelly was like some big slut, that she'd like not deserve to die, but you know, anyone could have killed her because she was just like full up on other guys' baby gravy. So certainly a book. I liked the ending chapter where Sarah is trying to justify her actions in killing her husband, or like getting her husband the death penalty, why she killed Kelly, and then also like all of the other pieces that made no sense as to like why she did this. I'm sorry, it was just half-baked, it was poor, it was not a good plot. Also, the third piece of DNA evidence, if you were curious, was one of the cops. So I guess Kelly was hooking up with the cop, or maybe he had sex with her like after she was dead. It was fucking terrible. It was not it was just not good. It was simply not good. And I'm not mad that I read it again because I was entertained, but it's astounding to me that this book has good readings. Just so many fucking problems with this book. And I guess if you like the mess, the mess is there. But I think there are other books that are messy in a fun way. Again, I could point you to The Housemaid. Like, that one's messy and, in my opinion, in a fun way. It does less, but in a way that makes sense. Like sometimes less is more. I really feel like that was the case in this book. So I don't know. I really don't know where this leaves us, but I finished a book and now I'm one step closer to getting that list video, y'all. I am going to hopefully finish Spare today. I am planning on going home and doing a little more cleaning, also some of that cleaning. So, you know, I don't have anything to report really with Spare, mostly because it's not that exciting, but I finished a few books in the past couple of days. I feel good. Remarkably by Creatures, Perfect Marriage. There's another one that I can't remember the name of, but I finished that too. Oh, Mad Honey, which was good again, but like not one that I can really describe or put into words, but also that ends well, you know? It's been a week. It has certainly been a week. I just had McDonald's, by the way. It was fantastic. 10 out of 10. Nugget experience. And you know what? I think I'm just ready to edit this thing. Get her up. And start the next vlog. That's just life, you know? I am actually very excited for the week ahead. Like I told y'all, I have a saline sonogram, I have a blood draw, I have some more Pilates classes to go to, and Hayden promised me that next week he is going to come up with some sort of chai recipe for me. I think we're also going to go to Houston, so I may or may not take you along for that. You know, we're going to Houston to see some family, so maybe I'll bring you. I don't know if that's going to be like exciting footage, but we could do a little road trip montage. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks so much for watching this. I love y'all so much. And until next time.